perfect. I think it's perfect. Is it perfect? Or do I need to get ah, now it's perfect. There she is. Mrs. Tahiti, how are you doing? Droobs White, let's go. I won't say the F, but yeah, there we go. Jeffrey's in the house. Yeah, no streaming service today. I wanted to make it a cool, quick one. I want to be with the fam. We want to discuss some things. I want to be able to look at the chat more. I'm diving deep into some other stuff and on the setup of the stream. So I can't wait to share some of the things with you in the time to come. Probably next week, I would say. Mr. Panulo, how are you doing, brother? Ultimate Connections, how are you doing, my friend? And welcome in here, my brother. Nice to see you in here. I'm glad everybody's doing great. Okay, so today, like I said, guys, today was a special moment. So I was on a 3 night and 4 days no food at all, just minerals and waters. That's it, and water, not waters. And I must say, I never thought that I would do something like that. I never thought that it could be done. Um, it wasn't easy. I would say you have to be in your zone mentally. But today I had my first like you guys would laugh. Like I almost got sick for eating the first time because your body gets used to it and you go to into a different mode where it starts eating or digesting the stuff that's on the inside already, which is a good full body reset, you know. If you're not mentally in the zone for that, to like if you just want to jump into it, I think you will break. But if you put it in your head and say, oh, I'm gonna do this, this is a goal, you'll get right through it. The second day was the toughest day. Yeah, the second day I was like, oh my god, I still have another like 2 nights for this. Mr. Maddox, how are you doing, my friend? Peace and blessings to you as well. All right, so we're gonna talk about. I want to talk about some other things as far as like what we're gonna expect. And you've seen the title. Title says, "Will we see Melvin cover effect?" Well, we don't know that. We remember last time they mentioned their things. Um, that's correct, Mrs. Tahiti. It is good for the soul. That was one of the main things of why doing it. But it's also good for um, many, like reversing many side effects of many things. Some of you know, especially you, Mrs. Tahiti, know that AB had to, go for some hospitalizations and doing tests and stuff like that. And honestly, as much belief I have as I have in our medical system and technology, sometimes I don't know their intentions. You know, like they did this back in the '70s, where they took that lady's cell, and they never took her, like her permission for it. She ended up dying. It was like with cervical cancer, but she had this impossible cell or whatever they called it. It was an intense thing, and I don't know. I don't trust the medical system as much because they have so many different things. Like they always want to do surgical things because they want to learn, and you're the subject that they're learning off of. And I have a little more love for myself and for my body and for my life. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something that I researched on very well, and this could reverse many sides of many things, whether cancerous cells or whatnot. Um, So yeah, AB is not a quitter. He's not like whether in the stock market, whether in health and life. You know, everything comes to an end one day, right? But that doesn't mean letting it go. You got to do all you can do, right? So, with that being said, uh, oh, I'm glad the connection looked like I had some low connection. Wow, Mrs. Tahiti, you do 14 days. Jeffrey's like, don't let my wife hear that. um, Crypto Baz, the big man is back. Get ready for some crazy. Well, tonight or today, you're not gonna have too many crazy stuff on you. This is gonna be a shorter one. I have a sibling's birthday to go to. I wanted to share some of these things, but I wanted to talk about these days that we're in. I know some of you guys. With that being said, I know some of you guys have been thinking for the past couple of days we've been different. AMC has been moving different than the other meme stocks per se. So, for example, we've seen GameStop, and I'm not like bringing GameStop down. Everybody in this chat knows that ABs have both positions in AMC and GameStop, and they're not small. But we've seen that in the algorithms of GameStop being different, a little different than AMC. We've been ending in the green, which is good. We started off very rocky throughout the day, but they had to bring it out up. There could be two things, guys. One of the things could be that we are they're like slowly digesting cover positions for Melvin. Remember when they said that they will be covering and they will be closing everything the end of June, and they were hoping to begin a new one by July. So obviously that didn't happen because their investors told them go F yourself because we're not gonna give you our money again for nothing. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is one idea, right? And we're gonna think together right now and see what could be the possibilities here. So that's one way. Second way, they could be they could be raising up the price slowly but very carefully because the options chain, as soon as we get into the $13 range, that's when the market maker starts sweating, right? And we're above the 13. We're at 13, what, close 1365, and we're down like a percent now in the after hours. Yeah, we closed at 1365 and we're down a percent. We were up a percent and a half. We're up 2%. So it's almost going to put us back to being even by the beginning of tomorrow. But now the market maker is sweating at this levels because in 13 and above, they got a lot of contracts that they would have to purchase if by Friday, obviously, or by next week, if this is all going to go into the money. So what that brings up is, will that be something that would be a problem? Like, would that be something that where they entice us, get people to jump in by Friday? They do the usual. That's a possibility. But that 13 and 13 and a half, both of them are very, very, very crucial to us by the end of this week. Obviously, anything more is better. I would love to see by Friday somewhere around and this is the hopeful side, somewhere around the 15 and a half, 16. But again, don't put any of this, like, don't take any of these thoughts out of your way. Like, don't expect that we're not gonna have a lot of people. Okay, here's what I'm trying to allude to, but I'm trying to say it very artistically. A lot of people are tying things to certain regulations, and here's what I mean. And I want all my family in here to be very, very set on this idea. The MOAS is not necessarily tied to any particular catalysts by now, and this is AB's personal opinion. Everybody can have their own opinion on this, but we've seen countless amounts of catalysts happen on many different plays, and they were all dodged. what I'm trying to get to is there is a money vacuum that's been preparing to go on. It's just off right now, and that vacuum is going to happen whether it goes to the upside or whether it breaks and it comes down to us and it showers us all with money. Now we're betting on that second part, right? Because they are on the other side trying to do the first. A year and a half, almost 2 years into this play now, you would think that they would have gotten the memo that this is it, like nobody's leaving. And the crazier part for me is the amount of how many shares do we see on a daily base, one, get routed to the through dark pools on a daily base, over 50%. That's one. Two, we see so many shares that are like, we see the volume sometimes spike up to 77, maybe 100 million in one day, and yet it's not reflected into the price, while over 50% is going through routed through dark pools. I mean, the crime is right in everybody's face. By now, what I'm trying to say is they we know and they know, and anybody who has any common sense knows or should easily see it, without having to look on paper for it. Sometimes when you get a hunch feeling, when somebody's trying to screw you over on something, or just trying to f you over, right? And you don't know what it is that they're trying to do, but you feel it. You know that they're trying to do. This one is one of those. This is a similar situation. You could tell we've been manipulated. There is no reason for anybody to have any doubt, as in, like, oh, is this really the numbers that are being reported? Are they true? Are these the numbers that we should be looking for? Are these manipulated? Are they not? It's a hands down manipulated, because even the shorts and even the percent that's self-reported, like especially the shorts, twice a month. And at the end of the day, they're bound. They're counting on the fact that we are all, to each their own. So like, I know how many shares I have, and I know I'm holding, but I don't know what any of you guys are holding, and I don't want to know, obviously. And in the same time, I don't know if anybody in here is all like actually holders, right? But that's what they're counting on. That's the reverse psychology that they're counting on. And that's what they've been pushing for over a year. Because with time, that's the perfect ingredient to this whole meal for them, that they're preparing. They've been trying to prepare for us. That you, over this time, would start to buy into the ideology of, yeah, these numbers should be correct. Am I the only idiot that is holding while everybody is selling? They want to get you there. That's what the only thing they're counting on, which means they also need time for that to hibernate. I mean, to get somebody to completely to rethink their ideas on something, you got to be patient. The one that's more patient than the other, inevitably wins. That's where we come in. What's our conviction into our plays? I'm not going to tell anybody buy, sell, put how many shares you have and any of that stuff. No, never. What I will do, and you guys are familiar with this, and you guys have been hip to this, at the end of the day, do you have conviction in this play? Because if you do, all the other stuff will become so much easier for you to go about and think about. And I know by now, majority of you in here are like, well, AB, we've been talking about it. We don't need this whole spiel about conviction and everything, which is good, right? But it's always important to keep reminding yourself the essence, because as time passes you by, you begin to lose those convictions, and that's just human nature. You always have to be reminded of many things so that it can stay fresh in your head. And that's what I do all the time. Now, the funny thing is, you guys remember back in, what was it, March, February, I broke to you guys the whole diagram of how this whole play was playing back then. Go into the videos, check, and look back then. I broke to you guys on how like the whole program of how they get shares, why they're doing what they're doing to us. Why are all the people on the other side involved or in bed with each other? Why are they all helping out each other? Because there's something I was able to explain to you guys. There was something in it for each person, including the feds. And that's why each counterparty were like, well, okay, it's good to do this manipulation thing because it pays off, you know, only while they're doing it. Now, here's the dark side that we're going to get into, guys. When the brokers were approached by market makers, and especially those retail ones, because they knew that our movement was going to be right there. Now, the funny thing is with time, it showed that all the brokers have been in bed with everything. So like the only chance is through IEX. And they know that majority, if not, I would say about probably 80%, and that's probably not even, that's probably conservative. 80% don't do that. A lot of people, and that's not to a certain extent, that's not your fault, and that's not our fault. Because I remember from the beginning, people were all on Robinhood. Then all the crap about Robinhood came out, and everybody jumped over to Webull. Next thing you know, it's like jumping from one pool to the other. Same BS. So then people found out about completely now got that whole PFOF thing down. So they're like, okay, let's move to Fidelity or TD Ameritrade or this and that, only to find out that even those brokers have PFOF in within their system and within their program, only to make sure that they also make money on this. Nobody on that side, no one is going to say no to money. They're always going to be reaching out for money. They're always going to be, if an opportunity comes, it doesn't matter what cost. Now, here's where as we get darker down this lane, you would think that after people started doing this IEX thing, now, as of recent, and a lot of people are still oblivious to this, it still doesn't matter. What goes through the dark pool inevitably at some point will have to come out. So yeah, you ate something, it's not going to stay in you forever. It goes out. Sorry for the image, but you get my point. Now the brokers, when they were approached by market makers, said, hey, guess what? Here's how you can make, I can pay you this much for you to this. And there are some theories and some rumors that they possibly, and I remember watching Randall Cornett, cool, very cool guy. If anybody in here is not subscribed to Randall, subscribe to the guy. He's very amazing, sweet guy, and in fact, he has a persona where he can just relate with the guy. So shout out to Randall Cornett. But there is obviously a thought that they also are getting more to do something, because think of it like this: if somebody comes to tell you, hey, let's do this, something that is against the law in a way, if you're open to it, your first reaction is going to be, well, what's in it for me, or how much? You're going to start calculating if this is worth the risk, right? Well, a lot of people ask a good question. Why are they continuing to keep selling shares? If they know they're going to get screwed on this, why make a blow up a nuclear explosion where you don't live or survive after it? It's a good question, right? Any of you, I know many of you have probably asked it. And one second. The good thing that in the stream, one second, the camera keeps out of focus. I hate this. I know your guys' eyes are probably tired from this. If you didn't notice it, act like it's not even there. Anyways, I can't change it now. I have to do it after the stream. So for these brokers, when you ask that question, their clearing houses, like Apex, for example, it's a clearing house for many brokers. Why would you continue to sell this stuff a year and a half into it now, almost 2 years? Why would you keep selling stuff that is the more, the worse it gets for you, because you'd have to come back and buy all this and deal with all this? Well, the amount, there has to be two things, and we can't find those two things as of yet. but we can only think about them. And this is the good thing about, talking back and forth as a family. And I'm going to be looking at these, I'm going to be looking at these comments in here. So I can see you guys' thoughts as well. Those two things are, they must at least somehow have an assurance, a backup plan, an assurance from a higher program or department. Maybe AKA will say, hypothetically speaking here, maybe the DTCC. I mean, after all, you guys seen that picture revolving around with that schmuck that did that overturned the margin call back in January. His picture is surfacing everywhere, and he was like he did that. Like, they could have closed this down back then. Why are they continuing to sell more, and why did they continue? Very, very good question. We need to have a good answer. The answer can't just be, it's part of the plan, because they want to trick you. The longer it goes, the more you get tricked. Well, no, that doesn't make sense, because you can't have a plan where okay, this is going to kill me, but I'm going to go ahead and sell more of it, hoping that you don't use it against me. Well, what? You just made the matter even worse for you, not for the counterparty. You just made the other counterparty even more dangerous, which is us in this case. So why would they be giving us that? One of the reasons for me has to be that they have an assurance from the DTCC/feds that say eventually we'll go ahead and bail you out no matter how bad it gets. So the worse it gets, it can be related to us bringing down the whole market when the official crash all happens, because it would have even more of magnitude, because the thing is going to be crazy, and then we will have the prices to show for it. I know some of you in here are like happy, like, yes, I like this kind of talk. I don't care about what happens on the other side. I just want more money. Don't worry, that time is coming. It's gonna come. It's inevitable. It has to come. It's not just because AB thinks it's gonna come, or many millions, 4 or 5 million others think that it's gonna come, or many creators think it will gonna come. It's because it's against physics for it not to happen. It just can't, unless everybody wakes up tomorrow on one day, like I said before, and says that, hey, we all want to go ahead and just close all our positions in AMC and GME. We just want to sell. We don't want to hold anymore. I don't see that happening. But unless everybody wakes up and says, I want to do that, there's no other way for this whole play to not end up the way in a catastrophe for the other side. It just has to. The amount of money that is involved in this, the amount of shares that have to be covered, and the fact that everybody is mentally also, majority are not letting in that FUD that is coming in from outside to try to price in some things for you. It's so crazy. And I keep bringing examples. Like, think of it like this. Remember DWAC, right? DWAC, it was squoze from the bottoms of the pits of hell all the way to the, 160s, 180s almost in that time frame. And then, it regulated and came back down. And that was because high short interest. Do you, as a quick question to all of you guys, do you think DWAC, just out of example, has the same short interest of AMC? Forget what's reported. Just think of it logically. Do you think that it's like that? And I know they have different floats. I know both stocks have different floats. But at the end of the day, when you sell the whole float, just once, not multiple times, you're already at 100%. Utilization has been at 100% for what? Over 60 days for sure. 75 days, 78 days, maybe even higher, longer. Imagine when the float has been resold many times over. What do you think the idea is? Do you think that, yes, DWAC, a stock like DWAC, had higher short interest, therefore squoze harder, and therefore we were only going up to what, 72, 74 back in June, because that was it. Well, we know, I'm part of the crew that's been in since September 2020. So I know what happened in January, seen it. And the attempt, the sad part for them is that in January, they didn't do the same thing for AMC like GME. I kid you guys not. If they did the same thing that they did to GME with AMC, and yeah, they halted us strictly right at that $26 range, 26, 27, where, and we were not allowed to pass that. That was it. GME at least had a breather up to the 400s. And at that time, you know, the movements, both movements, all the meme movement was still in its infancy stages. So when you look at the back then, when GME ran up, even though the SEC said that there was no shorts covering, at that time, that price running up like this, there has to be some short covering that happened for that, unless it was unbelievable amount of, you know, FTD deliveries. But I doubt that that was the case. I think there was some short covering happening, and that helped accelerate the price all the way up to that point. But obviously, the short covering is not out of that zone because they're all still tied in. But AMC wasn't given that opportunity to at least go into these hundreds, to those stratospheres. Back then, if that was to happen, they would have cut all their losses compared to now a whole lot more. Because I know for a fact that back then, without us knowing how many the float and all this stuff, and you got to incorporate the fact that we didn't have a whole year and a half worth of people making positions into AMC. I mean, back in January, AMC wasn't it wasn't in the millions of investors in it. We were just coming off of a pandemic, and everything looked bad numbers wise. But like, as far as fundamentals for the company, by now it's a different story. A year and a half later now, it's a completely different story. Our fundamentals are different, much stronger. The outlook for the future is looking very bright. I mean, all it comes down to is dropping a couple of movies here and there, like the Top Gun, and we got Thor coming up soon too. Like in any of these Marvels, and right away you're good for the whole year as a business. Now they're paying off their debt, and they're becoming like they're gaining profits into these quarters now. They're not debt free, but they're paying it off, which is a very good thing. And the way that these movies are coming in and like, you know, hodling a lot of money, generating a lot of money. I mean, Top Gun made over $1 billion worldwide for AMC. That's fantastic. That's not looking at ticket, like sorry, not ticket sales, food sales, popcorn, everything, Coke, all that stuff, all the beverages. Nothing is counted, not even the alcohol. That they also, some theaters have bars now, like a small mini bar. I like them. So back in January, had they let AMC do its run, and some of those meme stocks do their potential at least, or that wasn't GME's potential, but at least they let it run to that much, people wouldn't be as stubborn to hold it. That's why I know that I would be afraid. I'm not going to be lying to you guys. I would be afraid, and I do have GME positions. I feel like the hype didn't die. Well, it did tone down a bit, but no one can deny the fact that AMC is the center stage. And I will bring back another point from last time. That last time, the last stream, I said, when AQR addressed AMC and the other meme stocks, because that's how they spun it out in the article that they said from CNBC. And you guys, I don't know if any of you in here haven't seen that AQR video being exposed. Please, if you want to have a laugh and you want to have a good conviction, please go watch that. And I don't think you'll be let down, because you will get to see many things about that hedge fund and that guy that spoke about it, Cliff Asness, and see how much of an ass he made out of himself. Because when you go look at real data, you know that the media is heavily also manipulated. And one simple thing, $165 in billion, $165 billion in ownership and assets that they're under management. That's complete false. That was back in April of 2021, but that's what they put in the article. If you look at their assets now, you will laugh. They're not losing a little, guys. Billions of dollars, and majority of it is coming from one, losses. Second, people like investors are withdrawing their money. So if it's portrayed as being one of the best and biggest hedge funds in the world globally, people wouldn't be running away from it. It will be running toward it. Again, you will love that video. If you want to have some fun, go into it. AQR being exposed by an AMC investor, you would like it. And I have panels and pages to show you all that stuff. So it's not AB's words, or he's bringing stuff from his self. So let me read some of the comments before I continue going, because I think we were having some fun, and a lot of fun for a second. I do 14-day cleansers. Okay, I was there, I think. Tater Tot. Okay, that's where I'm at. Tater Tot, how are you, my friend? Tater Tot, you know what's the problem with your name? Is it makes me want to go and freaking eat tater tots. And one thing I'll tell you, tater tots in Greek burrito in my restaurant, you will die for them. You will die for them. I proudly can say that we offer the best tater tots in the country, at least as far as I have tried. No matter who you go to and no matter what you come to. Our tater tots are top notch, crazy. I don't know, but that's the thing. I cannot have tater tots, and you're in here, so I can have at least this tater tot, but I can't have those tater tots. Welcome in here, my good friend. What's the drink of choice this evening? Hopefully, I don't drop it on my computer, but you see the blackness inside. It's coffee, black coffee. Pork chops and screwball is the menu tonight. Oh my God. Well, good for you, Mrs. Tahiti. I'm tired of holding shit for so long. I sold all my shares this morning and bought some more AMC out of frustration. Okay, Crypto Boss, you almost had me for a second. It's like, you sold most of your your shares, and I thought you sold your AMC. Not that I would say you can't do it. Nobody can say what you can and what you can't do. It's just will be out of its place. You know what I'm talking about. I get what you're saying, Crypto. By the way, Crypto Boss, and I like the fact that you went ahead and got more on a dip, right? Enjoy these prices, because when they fly, when the squeeze comes, guys, you're gonna be like, I wish I would have gotten this much, at least this much, even one or two. Again, you know what you're doing. We've been in this for a long time. But the funny thing about where was it? Where I saw something here. Yeah, about like some shills that come out and say, like, why don't you sell and buy back later, or wait for it on the run up to buy back? Which is, I know that's not obviously what you're saying, Crypto Boz, but me addressing that is just hilarious, because people who say stuff like this, one, you can tell what their intent is, because they don't know that when this thing starts, it's not going to start going up and knocking on your door and saying, hey, just please, just so you would know, we're about to run up. It's moving slowly. Get in now before you miss your chance. No, when that time comes, it's kind of like one of those messages. If you're seeing me right now, it's too late. It's literally that at that point. And it's not going to be too late for you to obviously buy back in. But what I mean is, in like, to buy back in these prices, these ludicrously low prices, it's going to be very, very, very not possible. You're going to be looking at prices that's going to be in the 3 digits, probably 4 digits. Again, all this is not financial advice. If it really goes down that far, that's what you should be expecting. And it's not going to happen where it moves 10 cents or 20 cents or small like this. This is no volume. When there's covering, When there's in covering, this is literally like what I'm just doing right there. That's literally the reaction. When there is covering going on, is going to be blocks, and they're going to be going in, and they're going to be putting the price like, whew, like on fire, like a rocket going up in 4th of July. So I look forward to that, CryptoBoz. Yummy. I love pork chops, but my wife hate pork chops. I eat beef chops, you know. I love those. So lamb chops, we'll put it that way. Never had pork chops. Peter Jefferson, there is the legend. How are you doing, my friend? What's going on, AB? Heard of Albert earlier and just had to say it. Hope all is well in here. I'm glad everything is well, brother. Thanks for checking. You're always a class act, Peter. Appreciate you for stopping by. Jay Prataji. Wow, look at this. It's mostly most of the family in here so far. Redwan, how are you, my friend? PFOF is banned in Europe. I'm guessing that's why Weeble and Co have not come to Europe. Most likely. Most likely. Oh my God. Hanzo, how are you, my friend? Okay, let's see. Let's see. What else do we have in here? It would be Tater Tot is saying it would be so interesting to know how many times the float has been bought in AMC. It's definitely a very interesting thing. There is a possible way, Tater Tot. It's going to be very hectic. It's going to be very hard. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of dedication, but there is a possible way. And the way that is if we could have access to all the trading activities that for each broker for a whole year and a half, if they were to obviously report that, and or go back in time and see the volume of the stock on a daily base for the past year and a half, then go ahead and take out roughly what that dark pool percentage was on that particular stock, which is AMC as we're talking about here. Then eventually you can have a very good rounded estimate, and it's going to be very close, not like something that's far out of what could we be looking at. You know what I'm saying? It'll be interesting. I want to know. We all want to know, right? Let's see. Ooh, skipped on me. Where am I here? Anthony Non-Refundable. How are you, my friend? Yo, where's my Cryptide? It's okay. So as far as for Cryptide and the whole bbig spinoff, well, one, the distribution was today, and I don't think you'll see any of it if it goes through, if they don't have some effery in the background happening, or they're planned for this and they prepared a shit burger for all of us. Ouch. Sorry. You will be seeing them at best by tomorrow. But again, this is responsible for why you see bbig went down today. I've warned many people from the beginning, like many months ago, that this is a special dividend spinoff, and where it's kind of like a dividend. So in order for Cryptide to have its value, it's going to have to come out of bbig. So bbig naturally is going to go down because of that. Now, the crazy thing that where everybody was betting on is not just the Cryptide or what you're going to get. The fact that they will do that distribution would force the shorts to go in and cover their shorts, right? So we're going to see we would have a better idea of what they did, because we're always reacting, right, to what they're doing. Because honestly, we do something like AMC, we invested, we didn't know that there was effery until we've seen it happen to us over the time. So we would have a clearer picture by Friday. This Friday, by the end of the day, maybe the beginning of next week, we would have a very clear picture on what is what is exactly happening, because the distribution is already approved for. Nothing's got delayed as far as I know as of late. So you're going to get the distribution. But what we are really focusing on here is the short squeeze potential of bbig, heavily shorted. It doesn't take a genius to go and find that. And we know it's heavily shorted. So if this doesn't affect them and they were able to somehow distribute all cryptide shares, the dividend to us, and you still no bbig squeeze, then we would have to go in and figure out exactly what they did in order to manipulate that process. Because by looking at that, we'll be able to tell what will be happening with GME. Okay, that's going to be interesting because GME could do a dividend spinoff. We all heard of them saying that they want to do it, and they could choose to do it in a loop ring, similar to Cryptide, in a crypto manner. They could choose to do the same thing bbig did. The scary part is if something, be it like some crazy wild shit happens with the bbig and how that happens with Cryptide and no squeeze on bbig, that means that's something for us to put into our equation, something new for us to put into our equation for as a measuring stick for what should we expect out of GME dividend. And as a GME heavy investor, I am sweating a little bit for that. Now, I'm not sweating as in fear. I know we're going to run, but I'm not looking forward for yet another anomaly or some new stuff, some new manipulation that they can even manipulate dividends, give out. Because we all know, like, we know when there's a dividend to give out, shorts have to cover their shorts or pay out for the dividend. If that doesn't happen, because the amounts of short, the fake and the real, synthetic and all that stuff is unbelievably like uncountable almost at some point. So paying for the dividend themselves to not have to cover their shorts is almost undoable. Like it's impossible almost, because you still, even by doing so and paying that much money to pay out for whatever dividend, you still have all the shorts on your back too. So you're doing this and you have your dilemma. So in this case, if they're ever going to do this, just remember that they would. That's why it's always been known that when there is some occasions like this with dividends and stuff and spinoffs, shorts have usually go and cover their positions because it's cheaper, obviously, than having to do both, right? You can't fight a dying strategy, and that's what they deal with. So that's what you should be looking for, Anthony. Hopefully that can give you at least a perspective. So have some patience. Let's see. That's what I'm looking at. I have a bbig position, a very good one too. So let's see how that pans out by this Friday, maybe by tomorrow, maximum by Monday, and see if they distribute. If they distribute, how is it that it's gotten distributed to everybody? We all get cryptides, but what happened to the squeeze of bbig? Why didn't they cover their shorts? Because, okay, so we have one question now. That when that is solved, we will have a second question. Even when we get our cryptides, we have a second question at that point. How did we get this minus the squeeze, right? So that would be interesting. Pantheon, there is the star. How are you doing, my friend? AB is speaking the truth. Yes, and man, I try, brother. I try. Don't put the pressure on me, Pantheon. Thank you, brother. By the way, this is probably like the 10th time I tell you congrats on yet a very, very, very great show last night. I do appreciate you for the shout outs on the show. You're a good friend. I consider literally that's very, very trustworthy to me as well. So thanks for all you do for the community, brother. Everything that you do, sometimes you might not even feel like what you're presenting is catching on with everyone, but I think you're over looking at it in that perspective. Not that you have obviously said anything to me about that, because when I watch your show, I can tell that you're putting all your passion and all your energy into it. So and that's why in here, when I look in here, for example, and I start running through comments, and it's amazing to see all the people welcoming each other and talking to each other and showing some love to each other and all that stuff. But it's beautiful when a content creator sees questions that are related to not necessarily just related to the topic of the stream, but also questions about what we're here for, the AMC, the stock market in general, whatever about the stock market. It doesn't necessarily just have to be about AMC or GME, any other stocks, right? And it's amazing to see that your crowd is obviously engaged with you. And I'm not that pushing it out on you, but any FUD that comes around, we have great people with blue wrenches, maybe a little too many, one too many in here, or two too many, or three too many, but they could definitely deal with that ASAP. And again, much love to you, Pantheon. I'll put it right there because I can go on. And I know the viewers are like, yeah, give us more. But much love to you, brother. Thank you so much for everything you do for me and for the community. And I look forward to the next episode, brother. 35 watches and 18 thumbs up. Slap the hot dog with a hot dog. Yeah, how could you not love this guy, right? Oh my God. Anthony non-refundable was supposed to drop today. Yeah, Anthony, it was supposed to drop today, like I said, but well, yeah, by the time I got to this, you heard all my explanation. So you know what's up now. Manjeet Bian, how are we going to sell this until we see big numbers? That's my kind of guy. I gave a thumbs up and subscribe now. Where's my peptide? We'll see, brother. We'll see, Anthony. Thanks for the subscribe and thank you for supporting. Hopefully I don't let you down, guys, right? For all the newcomers. Dr. Zeno, hello, AB. I've heard good things about you. I hope it's really good things because that's what I aspire, most of my energy on. So hopefully I don't disappoint, Dr. Zeno. Thank you for stopping by and thank you for the support. Hey, Matthew, you were really frisky last night on your show. You had me laughing a few times. He had me cracking the whole time. Class act. That's what that man is. Veronica Chase, how are you, my friend? Glad you're on. When is the roller coaster going to end? Not give up, but either of this. Yeah, the roller coaster would. I mean, it has to. It's inevitable that it will come to an end, guys. The most important thing is your conviction, and what's also more important is to constantly keep remembering and advancing and learning in this business. Why? I know a lot of people are thinking that after post MOAS or after AMC or GME or any of the meme stocks that squeeze, whichever one you're in, and it squeezes, hopefully, fingers crossed. A lot of people are saying I'm done with the market and all this stuff. Well, it's okay. You can be done with things, but you never have to burn a bridge down. I'm always against that kind of ideology or thinking. You never know when you'll have to cross that bridge once again. So keep your options always open. So what am I referring to? Learn this game better and better. It's more than just a MOAS in this thing. Learn this game, the stock, see all what the devils can do and what they're doing to you. And be proud of the fact that we're changing a whole system. We're literally like changing the whole system and you can see it. Many people are very, very not happy with all of what's happening. Ken Griffin just paid $300 something million for a Miami, Citadel Foundation or new building. He left specifically now that you hear also the mayor of Chicago in Illinois that he was backing a Republican that he was backing was he spent like 40 million and the guy didn't win. Well, I know that there's a lot of rumors about Citadel being a very terrible organization for the city there. And the city was already filled like to the top of their head with all the drama and the BS that Citadel does. It's an entity that, okay, it might give back, but the more damage it does, is not worth what it gives to the city. They're taking more than what they're given, you know? And that's the thing. So you got things like that happening. It's inevitable that all this stuff is going to come to an end. It's going to be very terrible for many people. Our tater tots are top notch. I can't wait for you, all of you guys, to try them one day. You guys are going to come in and you'll see. Frankie Muhammad, how are you doing, my brother? Tater tot. Dude, when we get paid in this talk, I'm flying to Cincy and eating one of them tater tot burritos. And we could go to the park and shoot some hoops. Tater tot, that, the second, like, I'll take you on both of these. And the hooping, you don't even have to, like, ask me twice. That, you're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised. I'll just put it that way. As far as the tater tots, you're going to be surprised. Dr. Zeno, beyond sick of this market crap, but I simply won't quit until we win, or I'm stone cold dead. Even then, I won't quit. That's my kind of guy right there. I love it, brother. May the Lord offer you all the strength needed to go ahead and power through and get to the finish line, as I am praying for that for all of us, for the sake of all of us as well. We're going to get there, guys. As the saying says, you can't keep a good man down forever. You know? All right. Let's see. Let me go through here. Oh, it just jumped on me. I hate when it does this. And yeah, I didn't. Smash, smash, smash. Where am I going back up to? Oh my God. Ah, right there. I found myself again. I found myself. AB, we're not selling in 3 or 4 digits. That's what I'm talking about, Menji. Hey, I love the conviction. Always protect yourself, no matter what. Always have a plan, whether it's 8 digits, 25 digits, whatever it is. Just walk into it with a plan. And many of my beloved friends re-echo. I'm just re-echoing also what they say. Pantheon says this. Many creators would say this too. The ones that really have best interest in mind will tell you something that they will apply for themselves. They won't tell you something and they're thinking something different. I'm not going to obviously name any names or any of that. We don't have time for that kind of stuff. Besides, it has nothing to do with the stock market, so it shouldn't have its own life. No drama, but have your conviction and at the same time have a plan with your conviction. Your conviction only gets you to the gets you almost to the finish line. The finish line is when you have a plan. What plan do you have and how you go about it? That's ultimately when you say, I hit the finish line, I'm good now. F you, Kenny G. F you, everybody, the whole system and all that stuff. I love all my apes. I love all my brothers and sisters in this. And let's get this life started, or have a new life-changing event. You know, like, you're so wealthy at that point, right? So live a different new life and see and plan how you're going to live that and what you're going to do with it. All these things are important. Let's see. I need to catch up before I go on. Sorry, guys. I'm just scrolling through, so I might miss some things. Cole Trickle, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome in here. Frankie Muhammad, AB, do you know anything about someone filing a lawsuit? Okay, so this is weird. I've heard some things like this, like that someone is, but again, it's all rumors. I don't have any solid concrete evidence, or I haven't seen anyone that said, yeah, there is this or this is happening. Now, if you ask me as another question on top of that question, and I'll ask it also for you, I'll add it on so you don't have to even put it in, and I got you. Is would that be something that is good for us or not? I don't think so. In fact, I don't want this thing to be tied up in courts. That's the last thing I want it to be tied up into, and end up spending 2-3 freaking years in courts and whatnot. So if somebody's suing, hopefully, again, it's I the ultimate answer is I don't know. But my personal opinion, I just don't really think that it's something that is going to be beneficial. There might be more harm that come of it rather than like remedy or help. So I'm straying away from that. If it does come true, I mean, I can't control what people do. If it is true and somebody does really have a lawsuit, then it is what it is at that point, right? Let me know if anybody has concrete evidence that there is one, and what it is, what the breakdown for it is, and what is against who and whatnot. Share it with AB. Guy got a Glock. Uh-oh. Everybody, watch out. This guy has a license. Anthony non-refundable. Oh, you don't have to thank me, brother. Thank you. Again, I look at all of you guys as my family. So it's just remarkable that you're spending your time with me. I always say this, like, the one thing you can't buy is time. You can only sell it and spend it. And you don't know how much time you have. It's kind of like a weird thing. So it's like kind of having like money, but you don't know how much money you have until you run out of it. We don't know when our time comes. So the fact that you guys spend with me any of this valuable time that you can never buy back, it can almost bring down my tears, and I will let them come down in my heart rather than you seeing them on my face, coming out of my eyes. So I appreciate you giving me that your time, Anthony, and everyone else obviously in here, and the entire family that even if they're not in here today. Okay, let's see. They have, Dr. Zeno, they have underestimated how badly working people want a chance at monetary liberation. Will hold beyond the grave if necessary. Yeah, well, at this point, yeah, like there's nothing more dangerous than they say. The saying says a man, but I'm gonna change it a bit here. There is nothing more dangerous than an individual that have nothing to lose. Honestly, at this point, no matter how big my positions or how big your positions are, everyone in general, it does not matter. Like, to me personally, I'll speak for myself, and you guys could probably elaborate on that on your own, as also in your positions in the chat. But for me, even if it's so big, no matter what it is not enough to fully forever change my life until it squeezes. And that's what I'm holding for, because again, I have nothing to lose. As far as my life, I've always been humble, with or without money. I have my businesses. I have 2 small ones, and I'm very proud of them. I'm great. All I ask for is health and peace and mental serenity. So I wish that for all of you guys in here as well. So at the end of the day, if I don't get my numbers, or if we don't get our MOAS, I'm holding my thing, because either way, I'm living regardless. That's what it is. So I know many of you think and feel that way as well, and I just wanted to re-echo your sentiment, Dr. Zeno. Veronica Chase, AV, I'm heavy in GME. Well, I can feel it. We're gonna make a lot of money, guys. Just to have a plan. Tater tot, look at that. Cost to borrow is 29%. We're going to be so effing rich. You almost made me copy somebody else's line, Tater tot. Well, I did, but it didn't come out well. It's not original. That's why. Monty, hello from Alaska, everyone. Woo! That's a beautiful place. Hmm. Pokes, how are you, brother? I want to own my own business, not retire young. I know I can build something. Oh, yeah. Just figure out what it is that you have goals about and what your goals were. You remember we had this talk before, Pokes, and tackle your goals. You can't do anything better than what you have passion for. So if your problems, this is in general for everyone in here, if your problems was capital and you just didn't have the capital, but you don't necessarily need to follow other people's lead, because jumping into something that you have no conviction in, or it's not your what your interest is in, that's the best way to go ahead and burn a big lump sum of money, of your own money, because you're not going to go down with it. You're not going to hold it down. Go through after for your goals. Everybody can't do the same thing everybody's doing. Like, everybody has a different thing, and that's the beauty of it in the world, because we all bring something different. uh you love like, cars and all that stuff. Well, guess what? Car dealerships, mechanic shops, work on all that stuff. Not everybody loves that stuff, but the people that loves that job or loves that thing, and they do it for a living, and they're their own boss, sky is the limit. That's one thing I can tell you. So yeah, invest in yourself, follow your dreams, follow your goals. You can't say I don't have more capital after this squeeze. None of you can have an excuse anymore. None of you, none of us. So therefore, go after your dreams, go after your goals, and you'll have nothing holding you back at that point. Let's see. Where am I at? Again, it did the same skip thing on me. All right. All right. Kudos to you, Cold Trickle. You love your job. You just got more money. Why not? Pantheon. Uh, there is no lawsuit. Lou heard people on Twitter and YouTube complaining that action is needed. Lou made a "don't sue" video, and everyone is reacting like this is really happening. See, that's the thing, guys. And thank you so much for. See, this is why you gotta love this guy. Pantheon on the spot. We're not gonna have Johnny on the spot. We're gonna have change it to Pantheon on the spot. Um, and again, I don't like shit talking, and I don't do shit talking other creators or any of that. But when you calling for it, you're calling for it. I'm tired of this, that fact that people go and understand that there is nothing new that is being offered to you when you go and watch a Lou video. There's nothing new. It's being said the same stuff over and over again. And again, to each their own. If they love you, you love you, Lou. All the love and all the power to you. My thing is, when people take that and they run with it, that's the issue. And now we find out that it's all rumors, and God knows how many thousands of people seen that video and is reacting to it. And even right now, I've seen Frankie have heard something about that. And it's good that I have the luxury of having Pantheon in here. I'm fortunate enough to at least nip it in its butt before it even gets bigger and bigger and bigger, at least within this community as well. So there we have it. Mr. Frankie Mohammed, brother, how are you doing? We got the answer out of the way, at least as far as I know, and Pantheon knows now. That's what happens when people listen to Lou and take everything that he says as truth, never any receipts. Yep. You don't see it. You just see the moves, the funny things. And I give it to the guy. He's entertaining, but there's nothing new, guys. you're all going to be the same old transmethodites, as he refers to as. So it is what it is. If you go there for entertainment, you're in the right place. If you go in there for DD, whew. Socks off. Whatever happened with West Christian, the lawyer that was looking into this? I haven't heard much with that. It just stopped. Apparently, there was a talk about it, and I spoke to some of my friends, yesterday, especially about this kind of stuff yesterday. And there's nothing like there's no development as far as I know with him. He tried to do a share count before, and he was given the no, and that was it. It died there. There is nothing else as far as I hear. Oh, I would love that. I want to see a three-way tag team match. I like that. You like Pantheon and AB versus Massalorian and Tony D versus Lou. I wouldn't be versus Massalorian and Tony D. Those are my guys. Mass is one of my guys, man. I love the guy, and he's a Pantheon friend too. And so is Tony Dinero. Dinaro. I always say Dinero because of Robert De Niro. Sorry, Tony. Um, but the last one, yeah, Lou and Al. Um, I don't think it's gonna be a productive tag team thing because we're gonna be trying to show receipts while the other side is gonna be busy talking about entertainment stuff or hype, just hype without any receipts to follow it. Um, so I think it's gonna be a no-brainer at that point, and it's gonna be weird the dynamic. But if the YouTube gods can somehow make it happen, yeah, I would love to tag team in that. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, it's just skipped on me. Where is he, Mister? All right, Anthony. Good luck. Good luck with that. Hopefully, no crazy events happen in your shift, brother. All right. I love it. Love it. Love it. I just got to Pantheon's response in here too. Ah, thank you, Mrs. Tahiti. I appreciate it. I appreciate Michael Dixon. What about Al from Boston? I don't know. What about him? And Cole Trickle, good luck with your job, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, we'll talk and appreciate you coming in. Hopefully, we don't let you down, like I said. Tater Tot, AV, and I would make a deal with Mass and Tony. Then the four of us would stomp a mud hole in the other two. Exactly as I said, but his was more elaborative. Droob's White. It's close. You can learn from all of them. Yes, indeed. Indeed. Um, okay, good thing I caught up with all of these. No DDAB. We only bring steel chairs to this match. Oh my god. Pantheon would be like Mick Foley in this. But no, because he's just mentioned the steel chairs. No, no, no. Yeah, it's more like the Undertaker in this case. Hopefully, you like the guy. As a kid, I used to love Kane, and then I grew into Triple H, and then went on. All right, so let's continue, guys, for a little bit. Again, like I said, it was a mild one. It was just to talk to you guys, to see you guys. I haven't seen you guys as much in the past few days. I was doing that fast. Everything was cool. So let's continue, guys. So like that question we've answered as far as why would they continue to sell something that they know the more of it they sell, the more they get destroyed. I mean, obliterated at this point. They have to have like, and put your thoughts, guys, in here. I want to hear your thoughts. Like, they have to have some sort of assurance from above, from somewhere, because all that money has to be paid eventually. They can't just, okay, here's where my thought, I'll bring you into where my mind is. They can't turn around and say, we're never honoring any of this. We're not going to pay any of this. We're not going to do any of this. Oh, yeah, you're the only one that is holding. Everyone is not holding. Like, they're not going to sell that kind of crap. We all know better, and we can see it just even on the manipulated numbers that are being reported, right? So they can't do that. So who is funneling? I always think of it like this. If I go to a business and the staff is not as helpful, I ask for the boss. And if the boss is saying, for example, like, if they say that, oh, the boss is too busy to deal with you, they're not going to deal with you. Now I've developed an idea about what kind of business they're running there, what kind of customer service are they offering, and their business will die in its tracks because, that's a big issue. The staff is learning from the hierarchy because that's who sets the model, and that's who sets the effort to go forward with, and sets the tone for everything in that business. So in order for it to be a great business, it has to have solid foundations. And if the hierarchy is nowhere to be seen, or not careless, or don't give two F's about it, then eventually that business is primed to go ahead and go down, because eventually that leaks into the staff. The staff, if they see the hierarchy is not caring about the business, then they're going to do the same thing, because at the end of the day, they're just there for a job. They're just there to get paid. And they would love even a job, but since that doesn't exist in this, unless it was the pandemic when they were getting free money, which helped also with inflation terribly. Anywho, we're not jumping in that. That right there can't happen. That's just not how life works. So again, these people, who is pressing them and saying, don't worry, continue your crap, I got you when it comes to it. Because that's what they've been giving us. I got yous, IOUs, and all that kind of stuff. FTDs not being covered. Yeah, everything keeps being postponed. Who is pushing them? Who's saying, yeah, you can do this? Yeah, go ahead, continue selling this, continue holding this madness for over a year and a half now. We're closing in 2 years. Well, at least for me. By September, it will be 2 years, full healthy years. I don't know about healthy, but 2 full years. So who is giving them that indication? That did somebody even give them that? Or is it not the case? Is it that they know that eventually when they do all this, they pocket much of the money, but since they can't pay for it, somebody else would have to do the bailout, and it would have to be done. No, there's no such thing as them turning around and say there's not enough money to handle this place, so therefore, sorry guys, you all got effed. That does not exist. There's many regulations or rules against that, and just against common sense. So when people try to scare you and tell you other stuff like, oh, they could do that, oh, you better be quick, or try to put on you some bracketology ideas, this is when you know that, hey, can I trust this individual? Because this person is, I'm making out of my position here. Somebody could have 50,000 shares and they could sell them at 300 and be like, okay, why not? But even then, what's the sense? Another question here. What's the sense of selling something just because you have a lot of it, selling it cheaper than what it's really valued at? I understand people want to be safe, but again, all these questions go into effect. So if people, I understand everybody have different numbers, but you just got to remember when somebody is talking specifically about your sales and what brackets you should expect and what this could go to and whatnot, automatically you should feel like somebody's trying to shove down an agenda on you that it's their agenda, not yours. And things could become a reality similar to like the recession. A recession sometimes doesn't even, it could not be even there, but the reaction of the overwhelming majority of the people could put it into effect by force. So what I mean by this, as in like if you buy stuff, like there's no thinking, oh yeah, prices are high, but you're continuing to buy and buy and buy. You're not like, you just go and buy your life thinking that it's normal that things could go high in price and inflation is high. You'll be like, okay, it's fine, it's part of it. You're not thinking about it. But when you start thinking about crash, recession, and you start to reserve your dollars, and even if it's just $1, you're holding on to it more than what you were doing before because you're afraid of what to come. We imagine you do it, me do it, millions of other people do it. Next thing you know, the country is in a recession specifically because of that, because there's no spending. The people are not spending. Now, I'm not telling people go spend because it's inevitable that the recession is here, right? But now it's sticking to everybody else's head, even the non-investors, even the people that are not in this play. They are talking about recession now, and they are the overwhelming majority too, as far as in numbers. So when they react to something as it's already here, that's when it becomes a reality completely. And we're heading there and we're seeing it. The beautiful part here is that we're so on the opposite end of all this. I keep telling this to people. I keep saying this over and over. I know you get tired of it, but hey, it's good to keep thinking of this, the small things. They're important. We are on the opposite end of the rest of the market. The rest of the market goes down. We are in a better situation. Why? Because they're over leveraged on us. They are not only long on us, which many of them do, including Citadel. But the short that they have is in their best interest for us, the price to stay low, and for their long positions in many throughout the whole sector to go higher so that they don't have to reach no margin. But if they do, if everything is dropping, whether crypto, stock, value stocks, what else do you want? Tech stocks. I mean, don't even get me started on that. Majority of the hedge funds are mostly diverse in tech stocks. If you look at their investing portfolios and you look at the percentages, you'll see majority of them have tech stocks. And that realm has been crucified. And that is still child's play compared to what's yet to come. How do you think they will be able to hold a position without like a short position? Not just one, but they have many. But let's just talk about AMC and GME in here right now. They have these short positions on these two stocks, while they have their whole portfolio is freaking red and it's getting worse. And their margin requirement is getting worse and worse. So when you think of all this stuff, you could see that, hey, I want this Amazon thing to drop to the bottom or the pits of hell. I want all these other stocks to drop the way that they should be. And I think the whole market has been held hostage for over a year and a half, simply because of the involvement of retail, which is different than the past. Like long time ago, it was not like this. Like ever since GME and AMC came onto the scene and pushed this whole thing, and more memes popped up and everything, it's been completely different now. Retail is the whale in the market, and they can't ignore it. The problem is they're fighting a war that is inevitably going to lose. It's a lost war. And I've said this many times too, that they already knew they lost. They're focusing on the future plans. They're focusing on how to become market makers and how to regulate crypto, because it's a very good, but they want to be the beneficiaries of that realm. And that explains, you see all these dumps and all that crazy stuff, and they are making a position, open position for themselves so that they can go ahead and get in and corner the market in that. So they already know they lost on this. That's my opinion on the short squeeze and AMC and GME and all that. It's just a matter of when will we get the keys to the city. I can't wait for it, because when we get it, it's the longer this takes, the bigger the city is going to be. Let me read some comments in here, see what you guys were saying. Where am I? I lost myself. I'm being influenced by Biden a lot. Where am I? Manjeet BN, that's a great question. Oh, did I miss it? Let's discuss this with AB. Where's Manjeet's question? Sorry, I think you retracted it, Manjeet. I think you did. So you could type it again. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Okay. Thanks. The credit union max is still 250K. Okay. Need for Speed. What's up, brother? Thank you for being in here. I don't do much. Just serving the family. Corbin Dallas. What's up, brother? Fellow Buckeye. Let's get these bucks. Well, I don't want to bring you down, Corbin. Hopefully, this doesn't change anything, but I'm very truthful. I don't BS. So, unfortunately, I'm not a Buckeye. I am a Crimson Tide, Alabama fan. So, yeah, but if Alabama was out of it, the Buckeyes are my next choice, obviously, for going all in. Just don't mention Georgia or Michigan to me, and we're good. Prime Investor, how are you doing in here, brother? Okay. Cold trickle. If you have to put notes on your hand like Biden. Yeah, I definitely do. Leave the line. What we got for AMC today. Leo, you know a lot of things, but you can see them right into the beginning of this chat. If you could go ahead, I went ahead and just tackled AMC right off the bat to make it easier for anybody who just wants to see that. But you could go for it. But we're also talking in general now about many things. So, it's up to you if you want to go back to it and watch it now, or if you want to continue with us and see it later. Uh, you know, all your options, brother. Okay. Okay, there is Manjeet. What are some good ways to preserve wealth after the MOAS as bank or credit union max is 250K? Okay, Manjeet, that's a very good question. There's many ways and many things. There's precious metals. You could have a save box. What else? Um, You can do like, you could have your plan on like what investments you want to make, and then there is special accounts where you can go ahead and transfer a big lump sum or a big amount, like they have nonprofit organizations you could create. A lot of people, like that's like, there's so many. For me, I already know what I want to do with all like the money as soon as it comes, so I have that plan. But a good CPA would be a very, very good topic to speak with, depending on what it is that you expect to do with the money that you get. I mean, there are people that want to reinvest that in bonds. There are people that want to reinvest that like future bonds, 20 years out or more. There are people that want to, invest their money into the S&P 500 at that point, because it's a basket of those things that eventually will come back up in years. But that's going to be tricky, because when is the bottom? When it crashes, you'll see where it is. It normally rebounds, but do we know what is also happening politically? Like, there are wars, possibly World War III ensuing, which could take some time to begin. Hopefully it never happens. But if all these things, if other things happen like this, then you'd be afraid of putting any money back into the stock market in general, because we don't know the outcome of that if that was to occur, God forbid. Goonie, I just looked down here. Ernest and Young are definitely not the ones to hire as a good CPA, or to go and ask for good investment, or for this question. So yes, hopefully Manjeet, that could answer it. For me personally, okay, I'll speak on this, and I'll say what I'm personally expecting to do, and hopefully that could get you to say like, okay, you eventually still have to have a good CPA, and speak to one that you could trust. Don't choose just one, interview many, and ask them questions like you're going to get married, because you are technically going to get married to them in a way. So ask them all that stuff, and always check on them every, like, for me, what I do with my CPAs for my small businesses, this is funny. So for each business, I have a different one. So therefore, what this guy is doing and what this guy is doing, eventually I have to put, like, they have to work with each other. And especially if they hate each other, it's always best, because one is always going to try to outdo the other, or one is always going to show the other person's flaws, which is ultimately the beneficiary here is you. This guy's going to try to crucify this guy. This guy's going to try to crucify this guy. And now you see the bad in this guy and the bad in this guy, because they themselves are not going to come out and show you that, right? But when they're going head to head, they will expose themselves just by nature, because, this one doesn't like this one. They're not going to work with each other on this. That's one thing. Two, always keeping them on their tiptoes. Always keeping them on their tippy toes. How? Every other day. For me, almost every 2-3 days, there's a call. I just want to check. Do you have all my monthly sales, the report from last month? Okay, sales tax, you know how much it is for this state, because one of them is in Kentucky and one of them is in Ohio. So different sales tax. So I keep them on their toes so that they never feel like they can go ahead and do some earnest stuff, So besides that, I'm going to have when the money comes in, I'm planning on transferring a lot into the crypto realm, and have it ready in case what I feel like is going to happen happens, and then I'll be ready to tackle it or take advantage of it. Big amount or big chunk is also going to go for staying around close by in case the stock market doesn't necessarily completely just go away. Yeah, the crash is inevitable. It's going to happen. But if I could see a light on the other side, then I would jump back on the market on very low basis. And that way I can keep it as an investment and it can go for a long term. But that's a select amount that I'll have in there. After I have these conversations with my CPA, then I'm going to go ahead and have an allocated already an amount that I need for my long life dream to do, which is to become a import and export conglomerate. globally. Some of my close friends in here know this already, but I have a lot of intel in that realm. I've seen it. I've been around some people that were in it. Some of you know the story, some of the stories I've said before to you. Um, it's amazing, especially with the times that we're in. The what you can, especially if you have connections and you're bilingual, and you can go from here to there, and you're not afraid of traveling and going from this. In fact, I love it. Uh, it's amazing, and creating relationships with people. I feel like I have a strength in that department. So I always try to relate with someone, see what they are expecting of me and what I expect of them, get that across perfectly. When there's no doubts, both sides can work so much easier. I know your intentions, you know mine. It's just time to do business now. Let's get it over with. And in that realm, they'll tell you straight up. They don't like, and I'll tell you this because I learned it the hard way. I tried to know from this man back in this exhibition that was in Chicago. It was in the McCormick building. I was visiting. I wasn't visiting, actually. I was with a friend that his father owned big factories in India. And they were coming in March of that year in that McCormick building. And it was a big exhibition. Every retailer and manufacturer in the planet was there that day. It's huge, huge event. Huge event. It's funny. China had its own department. Like, it's huge. Like, there's a world, and then there's the China market world over there in it. Like, what manufacturers that come from there is so huge to the point where they made a huge section for them, just a huge building section for them. And when we got into that, sorry guys if I'm jumping into a different kind of story, but it's important to kind of like, maybe sometimes that could be a clicking point for somebody. And I would never want to deprive anyone from that. So I was there for a whole week in that, and I was able to talk with the Dollar General CEOs. At that time, it was, what was it, the Dollar General or the 99-cent store? It was a twins. There were twins, and it was one of those Dollar General or 99-cent store. Um, so the idea sounds small, like the business, but obviously they're a huge, huge franchise and conglomerate in the US. I don't know if they are outside the US as well, but they were walking around, and they came to talk to that guy about like a set of utensils, like fork, knife, and spoon. Now you guys might be thinking like, oh, are you going to sell these? Like, no, these guys, when they make an order, you're talking about it's going to be manufactured in the factory. They calculate like literally, because the order is going to take some months to get one made and shipped via ocean before it gets to you. So it's going to take months. But the minimum that I've seen that gets ordered for all of that kind of stuff are like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of units. So one order could easily be $2, $3, $4 million. Now, what you pocket out of that is a different story. But these guys can go ahead and calculate, these manufacturers, they will calculate how much a spoon, even a spoon, how much it can be manufactured for. And they will give that price on the spot. Because what they factor in is the price of aluminum, for example. If that was what is going to take from that brand of spoons or silverware, aluminum is going to be cheaper in every season of the year. So they factor that in, calculate how much of it. They know already all their stuff. Next thing you know, they come out with a number on the spot. So if they need to compete with another manufacturer, they know if they can say, okay, well, how about you get this order next quarter, and that next quarter around this time is going to be in the summer. Well, aluminum is cheaper around that time, so I can go ahead and make that whole order for this much. Next thing you know, you're offering that gentleman or this big conglomerate a very, very good deal. Now, for me, I don't want to be the manufacturer. I want to be the middleman. And unfortunately, that sounds like the market maker, but I'm not the market maker you all are hip to. Or I don't want to be the market maker you all are hip to. That's how it gets across. I want to be the guy that brings in the things in between. There's something that's amazing over here, and I want to make sure that it can be provided here in a different place. Bring it here. The United States is the biggest economy in the globe. China, yes, I understand it's improving and it's going to be something, but that's nothing until the next at least 8 to 10 years. The estimates, as far as estimates. So this is the part that every company in the world will die to bring its product here in this country. Why also? Because the US, and this is something you need to know, the US is a consumer's market. It's different. You go overseas, there isn't too many like restaurants that are doing too great or whatnot. Like for example, Jordan, restaurants literally have to be on their tip top A game because they can't influence people. Most people who live there, they live on home food. They cook at home, they eat at home, they do everything at home. It's rare that they would go eat at restaurants or eat out unless it's an occasion or it's a day of rest that they don't want to cook at home. In the US, that's a little different. We're a little more on the buy consumer end, and they know that. And that's why all these companies send samples like crazy and die to have their business here. Now, me, I want to be the guy that comes in and say, you want to be in this market so bad? I'm your guy. I like this product. And then I bridge the gap between this guy and this guy, but I'm the one who's purchasing all this from this guy. And this guy trusts me. He doesn't know who's really making it. He made the relations with me. So they'll buy with me. I would approach Bed Bath and Beyond. Well, after the massive dump that it had today, approach like Walmart's, big entities, or any, Walgreens, whatever you want to call it, and whatever product. So it's endless, the amount of options or possibilities in that realm. And that's ultimately what I want to do. I want to step away from retail because I've been doing it for the past 14 years. Whether my own boss or when I was working for others before I was my own boss. I love it. It was great. It's amazing. But I grew tired of the idea of having to be somewhere in order to make a profit or make a living out of something. So we'll see what happens with that. Sorry, that was a long Manjeet. Excuse me, Manjeet. But hey, I don't give just half answers. I'm going to give you everything I know about that topic. And if I forget something, forgive me. But if I gave you an idea or was able to help, I'm very honored. Veronica Chase, AB, LSU. The only good thing about LSU is it brought Joe Burrow to Cincinnati. That's the only thing LSU did. But I respect your team, Veronica. They just don't want anything to do with, they don't want anything to do with Alabama. Bama. All right. Look at that. AB, this is what Jeffrey's saying. Just like the BI, the BILE says, don't let your left hand know what the right hand. Okay, it says KOW. Know what the right hand is doing. Well, okay, Jeffrey. I'm not trying to be a magician. Oh my God. AB should import ketchup chips to the USA and export tater tots to Canada. I totally agree with you. Pantheon, I think a lot of people don't know the ketchup chips very well. I've had many of it some people could get it in international stores. It's not very known in the US. I know that. But international stores would have them. In the Middle East, it's huge. People love it that way. And I know what you're eating is like, I know exactly what you're talking about. And if that's something that doesn't exist here, actually, that's a good idea. We'll see. We'll see. It's a little risky because it's a food item, and going through the FDA is like a pain. but it's a very viable option for sure. The tater tots part, I could just send to you in the mail. Just keep it frozen until you're about to eat it. Let's see. Uh, and Pantheon, you're going to come down and try the tater tots, and you're going to have a gyro, whether a chicken gyro, or you're going to have both chicken gyro, lamb gyro. You're going to have falafels. You're going to have all that stuff in the restaurant. It's a Mediterranean, it's a Greek themed restaurant. Man, you gotta love that place, man. I swear, Greece is a place definitely on the list for me to go to. Can you believe I've never been? And it's very close to, like, you know, where the Middle East was but I was a kid at the time, so when I came here, that was it. Greece is fantastically beautiful. And from Jerusalem, knafe. Oh, okay. So I know it's in Arabic, guys, that language right there. And that's a dessert. Knafe is a dessert. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. And from Jerusalem, that dessert is best from it's called, the city's called Nablus. They're the most known for that. One day I will eat it and I will tape it and I will show you guys what it looks like. Pokes AB speaking my language. I work in an Amazon robot manufacturing company in the purchasing department, but I have an engineering background. AB, I might have to become a global conglomerate with you. Listen, where there is more like-minded people, there is much bigger potential for bigger, even more big growth. I'm all for that. You know, I'm not an entity who have to just do things my way. No, I want to see something grow. And if it needs many other elements, then that's what it shall have, you know? You're welcome, Manjeet. I can get you the best price and make you that spoon myself, good sir. Well, yeah, you better be ready, folks, for hundreds of thousands of them. Pantheon highly recommended you. Well, I hope I don't disappoint. Thank you, Pantheon, and thank you, Duncan. Today is more of a, you know, check on what happened with the market. We're going to cap it off soon with some of the things that happen, what to look for, and as tomorrow you know, comes through, and what are some of the things that we're going to be anticipating. I will all put that now as soon as I get done with most of these comments. Lamb is my favorite. Okay, Pantheon. Now we got more in common. Hell yeah. We have a lot in common, and now we have even more in common. Lamb, you just have no idea how good it's gonna be until you come and try it. One day, in fact, I will make a video and I'll send you guys the process of me making it, or us making it, the staff or anybody in there, and see how it looks. It's gonna be amazing. And we have also Jeffrey. It was supposed to say the Bible and know what the left and right hand are doing. Yeah, no, I know what you refer to, Jeffrey. I was kidding with you. It's kind of like the moral idea of it. I remember was to you know, be more giving than, you know, to kind of receive. So like when you're giving, don't think about how much you're gonna give someone or help someone with. So the idea was is like to basically, if you had a bunch of money in your pocket and you were going to do a good act, the idea was to, you know, just get out and give and not even know what you gave. Because truthfully, if you think about it, this is good. This is a good point. Truthfully, if you think about it, if you're doing good, why does it matter to you you know, of what you gave to that person and what it might do to them and whatnot. It's not has nothing to do with you. You gave it to this person, and now you just opened up some hope for that entity or that individual that needed that, whether that financial help or in whatever way you helped them in. So it's a very good thing. Lady Garcia, do you think the data coming in tomorrow will move the markets to the upside or downside? Okay, so 1 second. It just flipped on me right there. Where is it? Let me mark this. Okay. What data are you talking about, first of all, Liddy? As far as, are you talking about Melvin shutting down their, or, closing all their positions by the end of this month, which is by tomorrow? If that's what we're talking about, then I want to see what they do. Like, will it go into effect? Because if they do, and they do start closing all those shorts, that's not going to be a small price increment. And right now they're on edge. As I told you, as soon as we get into the $13 zone, the market maker begins to sweat. Straight up. We are 1365. So we got that and the 13 and a half in the money as we speak right now at this point. But you're still going to have to wait until what happens on Friday. I am a little surprised that they did not push it high so much in the beginning, like Monday, Tuesday, so that they can bring it back down. Like, it didn't move much. But right now we're in a very good spot because every week that they do this stuff, where the price ends, that's where the puts have to be people start factoring the puts in and then the calls in. So eventually, as they keep playing hot potato and screwing people on options, even though that's very nefarious and on the same time sad for the people who fall for that stuff, eventually they are jumping. They're like kind of like they're jumping on one plate to another, and eventually they're gonna jump on one plate that's gonna be hollow on the bottom, and they're gonna sink with it. What I mean by that, you're gonna see that the price where it ends on a particular week, it's gonna be in a place, and I believe this is what also happened in June of 2021. It was in a place that from the weeks prior, how they kept battling the options chain, people are not only buying for 1 week, you got people every week they're going to buy. So where that ended, now that plays a big difference on where puts and the calls that are going to be in the money for this following battle. So every week is a battle. And eventually, they are digging themselves deeper and deeper to the point where, because of all the artillery that's sitting on the background, all the synthetics, all the fake naked shorts and all this stuff is sitting in the background. But while they're playing or while they're fighting on a different front, eventually they're going to get to a point where that price is at a range where the puts, whether they're going to get screwed, whether on puts or on calls, they just have to choose what they're going to do illegally to bring either that price down or tackle it or manipulate it down or to manipulate it up for whatever is going to be less of a damage. Eventually, like I said, my point is that eventually, as much as they continue to do that, the less leverage they have the next time and the time after that. Yes, I know it's been over a year and a half, but you can't technically just say it's a year and a half, because last June we had a little run up. It wasn't a squeeze. It wasn't anything. It was a run up. Yes, nothing close to what we expect and anticipate, and nothing close to what is truly valued at, with all the stuff in the back end on the back burner. So it's getting closer to see. So like this week, I'm going to be really interested in seeing where we close on this Friday. Now, if Melvin comes in, somehow all their shorts are covered, which I didn't dig deep down on that after, because people kind of like when he submitted that letter, we all kind of just like let it go after that. We're like, oh, that's it, they're done. But we didn't see their effect of them closing their positions go into effect into whatever stock, into the price action. Because any short covering is gonna, even for these guys, it's gonna mean a lot, and it's gonna create buying pressure. And I don't even think that they could do it. I hope they can't route it through dark pool. But the one thing I can worry about is they probably could do some swaps. Well, they'll swap out those positions somewhere else just to keep it in the back burner somewhere else, you know, so that it doesn't go into effect and burn all the people ahead of it. Because when one guy cover, it becomes a domino effect of other people having to cover at that point. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting this week, like by Friday, the day after tomorrow, we're going to see what really happens and what to expect. John Curie, what happened to bbig? If you backtrack into the beginning of the stream, there was a beautiful gentleman that actually asked the same question. I have addressed all of it. So please feel free to go back there and see it. Thank you, Pantheon, and thank you, Duncan. All right. Pam, how are you, my dear friend? Nice to see you in here. Hopefully you're having a great time. Dips Patel, I almost missed you. Sorry, as it skipped on me, I almost missed you. The good thing fate didn't let that happen. Hopefully you're having a great, time and a great day as well. Thank you, Pam. Manjeet, my restaurant is located in Kentucky. The city is Florence, Kentucky, and it's actually inside of a shopping mall too. And very nice. It's called Florence Mall on Mall Road. So if anybody is in these areas, come on right in. I'm treating you on me for a meal, whatever it is that you would like inside. There's a big food court, so you can definitely enjoy what you want. There's many restaurants in that same strip. You guys know how the shopping malls are set up. And you can go in and see, many things. The only thing that was sad about it is that right outside our shopping mall, there's a big Cenmark, and that's who they did a deal with, that mall with. I'm gonna have to speak to Mr. Adam Aaron to possibly come and do some, AMC over there. But we have a lot of AMCs around here in this area. We have like 3 or 4 in Cincinnati, in Dayton and Cincinnati. One in Kentucky, which my previous restaurant, Greek Burrito, it's called Greek Burrito, was in. It was in Newport on the Levee in Kentucky as well, right off the bridge from Cincinnati. But it was amazing because it was on this same plaza-like setup, but the 3rd floor was a gigantic AMC. That's the only AMC I go to anyways, to get all my, to watch movies. And it's, luckily for me, it happened to be conveniently the closest thing to me as well. Well, I don't go to Cenmark, so again, forget it doesn't matter how far or how close it is. But yeah, that's what it is. Florence, Kentucky is where the restaurant is. Let me know, any of you guys, if you're close by or in that area and you want to test out the food, or you want to go ahead and say hellos and meet a fellow ape that has been also like part of the family, you're more than welcome. And my treat for it is that it will be on me. Come on by and check it out and give us your opinion. In fact, one second, I'm going to pull out something for you guys. If you go ahead, guys, and just go on Google and just put Greek burrito, I don't know if it's going to show for you guys, just to see pictures of what it looks like. It used to be a McDonald's in there, and I overtook the McDonald's. Oops, sorry. I don't know. Can you see me now? Sorry if I got off the camera. But it used to be a McDonald's, and I went and took over the McDonald's space and, got the stupidity of McDonald's out, and then brought it back and put all my touches and everything on the new setup. So if you go and click in Google and you put in Greek burrito in Kentucky, it will come up to you and you will see all these pictures of what the foods look like. There's like 20 photos that we have put in there. And you'll also see in the background, there's a picture that has that Greek emblem in the background. Oh my God, that was amazing. We have many great items in here. And this is, if you're not seeing it or if you're not looking it up out there, guys, this is what it looks like. Greek burrito. Like I said, again, you'll see a lot of things in there. We have Euro salads, everything. Okay, moving on. All right. Oop, it's just skipped on me again. Oh no, it didn't. I was right there. All right. And Derek A, what's up, brother? How are you doing? Whimsy Chick, nice to see you in here. Much love. Whimsy has a friend that lives in Florence, Kentucky. My ex lived across the river in Loveland, Ohio. Well, Whimsy Chick, I don't know if you live in these areas too as well or not, but if you do, let me know. And I can meet you in Florence in the business, and you could definitely try Greek burrito. Goonie, AB, do you think when we get our attendees, realities are good to invest? Realties are good to invest, like rentals? Oh, okay. Well, Goonie, that question depends on one thing, and that question is always good at all times. But what it all comes down to is what kind of housing market are we in? Because ultimately, what I'm anticipating now, or what I'm following, is the jobs reports. The more or less jobs, and we know that is being reported as of late to get worse and worse and worse. People are getting kicked off of their jobs, because it's important to tie these things together now from this point. Good question, by the way. When people lose their jobs, and almost every big corporate is shaving off staff and employees, and even smaller businesses are losing their asses off because, let's face it, inflation is burning them, and they're not as big as the conglomerates to get better pricing on things, even though if they're high. Like, for example, in my restaurant, since it's not a big franchise, when I go and I purchase enough for one entity, versus these big boys. They source things and they get much better prices, even though they're going to be higher, but they're going to be way less than what I get something for, simply because they're buying a whole lot more for many more. And then that distributor would want to earn their business, so they would do whatever. And sometimes they even lose on certain entities' business just to have it and make it up somewhere else with the likes of us. Now, like I said, again, personally, I have very good relations with making relations with people, or even companies or staff or people. So I know how to get what I need out of people. In the same time, I'm honorable enough to know that I'm never going to use people for whatever personal gain that I need that is going to be harmful for them, right? I just want equality. That's it. So I'm covered from that perspective. But when you see jobs are getting less and less, and small businesses are shutting down, look around you in your small area, in your cities, wherever you guys are living throughout the US or anywhere on the planet. Look at the amount of businesses shutting down or foreclosed or out of business. I guarantee you, I know for a fact that it's everywhere, and it's even worse in some other places. And it's happening. The worse that gets, the more or the faster you could anticipate a market crash on the housing crash. Sorry, not a market crash, but a housing crash. Because people, it kind of makes its own sense in this case, because this goes with that. If there's no income, in many of these households who have mortgages, uh, you know, anything on a mortgage, they're going to lose that because they're not going to be able to make payments. There's no income going out versus whatever, you know, the output that needs to come out. There's not enough income to support that. So like 2008 and times before that as well, years before that, you're going to anticipate that to happen. So keep an eye. If that's something you're interested in, real estate, keep an eye on the jobs, the job reports from the feds, and how jobs are anticipated. That way you can have a better gauge to how long should you be expecting something like that to happen. Right now, for me personally, as what we've seen, I'm anticipating it to be somewhere in the end to that's like being very bullish, the end of somewhere in the end of this year, perhaps at the beginning of 2023. That's when we'll see that. Now it could be much sooner, accelerated, depending on what else happens. You see the crypto dumping, stocks, all of them dumping, the stock market crashes, people are losing their jobs, people don't have jobs. uh, in what day to day, people can, like a company could say, we cut half of our jobs. Like Apple could say that. Many other companies could say all that stuff in the same day. And you will see a month later, that would affect people's payments because there's no money, there's no income. Eventually causes foreclosures, and eventually that creates a market crash, or again, I keep saying that, a real estate crash, which will be a very tantalizing opportunity and moment for your likes who love or have ideas about jumping into real estate business. um, Goonie, that will be a great opportunity and timing then. So gauge it that way. Just gauge the housing market to the jobs, you know, situation. The worse this gets, the faster this gets, you know, gets closer and closer to us. It's inevitable. It's going to happen, and you're seeing it right now. So hopefully that answers the question, Goonie. Oh, so finally, is it good to invest in? Well, again, that goes back up to you. If you really dig it and you want something like that, most of the times, homes never lose their value. If you own something and you're not on the hook for it, it's a different case scenario than, you know, being on the hook for it for paying mortgage. Because even if you lose a job, that doesn't mean you're losing a home. But when you're doing it on a loan and a mortgage, then obviously at that point, you know, you lose a job and income unless you get another job that can and also withstand the higher rates, because payments are going to go up. And a lot of people are being also, like, I've seen a lot of letters from people who are beginning to lose their homes because they're getting letters from the banks asking them to pay the rent that they missed on the COVID time. So for all that year in 2020, majority of it from beginning, almost from March to end, people were giving liens or a free leeway by their banks saying that, hey, okay, we're not going to take the house from you. What we're going to do is the payment is going to be the same, but whatever you didn't pay now, then we'll tag it on to your lease or your mortgage, so that yes, it will take an extra 6-7 months to pay off, but you don't lose your home or you're not in the streets. But that's because it was COVID time. Now that COVID is out and the banks are, you know, the rates of the feds is going up higher and higher. And these banks want us, obviously, also it's in their best interest. And this is cynical a little bit. We're jumping into tinfoil hat frame now, or area. When people, when these banks, it's in their best interest to also foreclose these entities, because they can go ahead and take it back. It doesn't matter how much you paid on it. We have some beautiful family members in here. Mrs. Tahiti had a personal situation with that. Exactly. It happened to her in 2008 when she was only 11 months away from paying off her house. That's, you see, this is where evil, the roots of all evil, comes from. Now, for you, you're probably wondering, like, well, AB, well, I don't want to hear all this. I just want to know if it's good. Well, when a home, you tell me, if a home you see for $150,000 or $200,000 now is evaluated at $60,000 or $50,000, is that a good deal? Because it's not going to lose its value later. It's only going to go up, because this is the worst time. For at that point, we're anticipating that the housing market has already crashed. that point, you're buying everything at a low and you're selling it at a whatever price down the line. Business is the same in whatever sector. It's just what you prefer to do in that business world. At the end of the day, business is always about what you got it for and what you're going to sell it for. If you're going to sell it for, you have to incorporate your costs, your whatever you put on it and everything in order for you to maximize or to think about what your profit is going to be. So hopefully that fully answers all of that, Goonie, in a non-Goonie way. Thank you, Mrs. Tahiti. I can't wait for you to visit it. Whimsy Chick, Greek food is my favorite. Well, now you got a reason to come in. Mrs. Tahiti, AB, stuffed grape leaves. Oh yeah, dolmas, of course. There's many names to them. Domates, or you could say dolmas, or you could say stuffed grape leaves, or you could say duali in the Arabic version. So whichever way. All right. Greek isn't very popular here in Florida. There is, okay, so yeah, maybe not everywhere, Mrs. Tahiti, but I heard about this festival every year, Greek festival. It happens in Florida, but which is it? St. Petersburg, I think. I think it's St. Petersburg, or in either there or in Tampa, one of those places. Some ladies were telling me about this a while ago, and maybe one day I will go to it down there. You got it, Goonie. Appreciate it, brother. So yes, so what are we expecting tomorrow, guys? Let me let you guys all off the hook. I said this was going to be a shorter one, and it ended up being 2 hour stream. But I can't. This is what happens when I'm with family. The time flies by quick, and I love it, you know. But hopefully within this weekend at some point or next week, I'm going to provide you guys with a nice, very nice show, actually, with the screens to share things and all that, and show you what some of the things that I've been thinking about and have working on in the background. Let's see. Tomorrow we are anticipating, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, you guys love how the like in the past few weeks, how we've been talking about and how we've been breaking down what's happening with crypto and the technicals on that and how it, been performing. So if you've been following what I've been saying about that stuff, that we were spot on, right? Which is cool. I see the same thing. You see, here's the cool part here in crypto, guys. The support that crypto had and for the whole past week, where it was consolidating in. You remember when it was going up to 21 and then going back down 21,800 and then dumping back down. Right now, since yesterday until all of today, crypto, that 20K line right now is becoming its resistance. It's consolidating underneath it, which means it's more, okay, if this was 100% pie, there is a 65, I would say 70% that this in short term is going to drop like back to the lower support that it made, or resistance at that time. It became support, which is 17,800 and something dollars, which was like a couple weeks ago. I remember a week and a half ago. So we can anticipate now that the selling pressure on Bitcoin and all the cryptos is much higher. Now I just want to see something real quick. Okay, I want to show you guys something very, very cool. It's very tiny and very minuscule, but it's very cool. If you look at the charts, if let's say you're not a technical analysis person and you don't look at the charts, But if you want to look at something that could also give you an intel on the larger image or scale, and this is very small and simple, but it's a small picture that tells a lot. And here's what I mean by that. If you look on the chart and you go in whichever platform you use for charting or anything, I have a couple of them. I use Trading Views, and then I use Webull chart, like, to see it quickly, because, it's free to have the account, look at it. And I do day trading on Webull. Don't get confused, guys, with, I explained to the family in here, what do I mean by Webull? I know payment for order flow. Nobody has to preach it to me and all that stuff. But I said my purpose on it. My purpose is that in my own realm, I found a good hack that benefits me into that. And that hack was, I use Webull only for pre-market trades. So at the end of the day, I'm not doing anything long there. I don't care about their payment for order flow because it's not going to affect me. In fact, the market maker is paying Webull at that point for pointless information or trades, because at that I'm already out. It's pre-market. Before market opens, I'm already out. I'm enjoying the zero trade fees. I'm enjoying all that stuff, and whatever money I make is automatically transferred over so that I can make it into my long position, adding furthermore to my AMC and GME. I just thought it was beautiful. Instead of me having to go to anything else that could charge you, obviously, fees, doesn't matter what platform or whatever thing you're going to want to do in, because it's a day trade. I'm not holding it long, so they can't screw me on it because I already screwed them. I already made my money. Given that, of course, it's a successful trade, right? So anyways, now that with that being out of the way, the small thing that you should look at, you can go, let's say you have Webull. Look at this. I'm going to show you guys on the camera. I'm going to flip it and show you. This is something that is called, you could change your chart to, instead of a line or a candle, you can change it to a baseline. And the baseline view gives you this. This is Bitcoin in the baseline view. You guys see the green and the red? Now, what stands out for you here, guys? By looking at that image, what is standing out for you? Versus, you see how that view is? Now, let me change it back to whichever, let's say I love the line format. The line shows you just this movement, right? Depending on what you put it on, whether the hour. Somebody's stepping in here. You see, it's just normal, right? But when you look here, and this is small, again, this is just a small way to see the overall image on the day before you even dive into the technicals, right? This is just for you guys out there who don't like the technicals, or don't do, or not up there yet. So therefore, until you get there, this is something that you can look at. You see how much more. Let me look at this now. Whimsy Chick. Oh, I can't wait to shop for rental properties after squeeze and housing and stock on my list. Love it. Tampa worth the trip for sure. Yep. I just came back there. I will show some pictures. Not for that. I was in Clearwater, just to make sure. I didn't go to St. Petersburg. I just been to Clearwater, and I loved it for the first time too. How much more is red? Corbin Dallas. There you go. Ding, 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 ding. So what I see there is, there ultimately, just by looking at that image, I can see that there's more selling volume, just because you see the drawing, right? I can see that there's more red than green, which means there's more selling than buying on that particular moment. That's just a small way to see things. Now, what would that tell me? If there's more selling than buying, and the crypto realm just opened up and is still in that after the market closed at 8, that means we're due for somebody to make a move to sell even more. Right now, this is telling you by itself, that drawing, that there's more selling than buying, which by itself tells you a lot. Now you want to go in and dive into the levels of what it could drop to. what it needs to break and what does it need to hold, all that kind of stuff. I've done it before, so please go back to the previous 3-4 videos or 2 videos, and you'll see me talking about breaking down crypto and saying levels that it can hold as resistance, levels to watch out for, and what to see will be a resistance and what's a support. And we've been dancing with those, and right now I'm again making another call for you guys that obviously Bitcoin and the crypto realm is right now consolidating around its previous support, but it's underneath it. The fact that it's not bouncing off hard off of it, meaning that all the buy orders for that realm, for that region, that 20,000 are out of the way, which means, and there's more selling, which means it's evaluated at a much lesser price. We'll see what is going to be at this point because it's not bouncing off that 20 very hard, and it's not going to meet 22,500, as I said, yet. Until it breaks that, there's no reversal. So yes, so I can see now, look out for the next support line, which is in, just out of curiosity here. Sorry, guys. Let's look at it here. The next support, we have support at $19,430, you could say 19.4, and then the next support after that will be the previous place that we were in at a low of the 52-week low. And we'll say about 17, the upper 17,000, 17.8. So between those two realms now, we're looking at dancing with that. Now that is for crypto. We can put that out the way now. AMC did close down 1.43%. There looks like an increase in buying for sure. So tomorrow I can see, yeah, I'm going to keep that for the other video to bring out the chart and show you guys and all that stuff. All right, all right. I'm strongly considering, by the way, I've seen some houses talk. I'm strongly considering Tampa Bay area, Tampa in general. Clearwater, I freaking fell in love with it. Much cleaner than Miami. Miami was the time where we went down there and just got rowdy. It's just for that. And I don't know, this is how I know I'm getting old, I guess. But no, Clearwater was much cleaner, and it was many people in their beaches. But I loved it because it's not just a touristic city like Miami. It's just good for that. And trust me, I know almost every corner in Miami. I've visited it over 9 times. Goonie, AB and my AFM, you know what's great in our stock? We own the float and maybe more. We have the same goal, and that is to hodl for life-changing money, increasing our wealth to unimaginable heights. I totally agree with you, and thank you for answering the question, because it was you asked that question and you answered it, and there was no better answer than that too. Let's see who else is in here. I must leave because the birthday festivities is about to start. I think you guys can hear it probably in the background. Virginia in the house. Arthur, brother, how are you doing? Savvy, love Greek food. Too much fried foods in restaurants. Yes, that stuff is bad for us. And that's exactly why I just came off that 4-day fast away from food in general, because I wanted to reset everything in my system and my body and what I can introduce it to and start ingesting, you know? So yes, you guys should see the next show. I'll put the picture of the small thing that I ate today for the first time. I was literally taking a picture of it, like it looked like gold to me. Alrighty, guys. So I'm gonna get the hell out of here. If there's anything else, I'll post a video later, just a small clip video and post it up. I wanted to come in just so I could see the family mostly, like I said, get to talk to you guys, get to see where everybody's head is, where the feelings are. And I feel like actually you guys are solid rock, like rock solid. Not like Bed Bath and Beyond's crowd today. That got, destroyed today. But that's like, you seen what happened with them. Even their CEO left. Everything is bad. This is like a terrible situation happening in the business, and it is bad. This is really bad for them. Where I was looking at something else too. Where is it? And apparently, just one last thing. So apparently, Mara, the stock plunged today. Well, because it tracks Bitcoin and the crypto. But here's the cooler part. Apparently, it plunged as Montana storm knocks off miners offline. So, whew. MicroStrategy, the biggest institutional Bitcoin holder, acquired 480 Bitcoins for $10 million cash. 480. No way. Well, that's weird. Sorry, I'm just doing some, I guess, math in here. I got to give you guys some math. That's why I'm here on this one. Sorry for the wait. Okay. So, yes, sorry, I was brain fogging, I guess. So basically, MicroStrategy, the biggest institutional Bitcoin holder, have actually went ahead and bought for $10 million cash. This is a big thing. 480 Bitcoins, which means they bought those 480 Bitcoins at an estimate of $20,800 a piece. This is a huge, guys. When the biggest one is not selling, but more like downgrading, they're basically averaging down because their previous average was about 31,000 per coin. And now they just had a better opportunity to average down, and they could have easily some and did whatever, and which they probably did. They probably sold at when they first seen it drop. They probably sold, further adding to that selling pressure. And then as it got to this point, now they can put that money that they got out at those levels out and put it in at a lower. So this way they get even, it's more beneficial to them. One, they average down. Two, they further maximize their amount of Bitcoins that they're holding. So with that being said, thank you, Whimsy Chick. Appreciate you. Number one is to show all some love and support. AB, appreciate you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Jeffrey, appreciate you. Manjeet, appreciate it. Pantheon, thank you so much, brother, as well. Everyone in here. If I could sit down and now scroll over the names, to all of you guys, I'm very highly appreciative. And as one of my dear friends, Arthur, says always, don't forget to support the businesses that you are investing in their own, in your own stock, that you're investing in their stock. So basically, you know what I mean. Get that Coke, get that popcorn, watch that amazing movie, whichever one it is, and better fundamentals, better finances, better papers, better work, liquidity equals to a stronger and much better stock. So with all that being said, I love all of you guys. Thank you so much for stopping in, not shopping in. And till next time I see you, I'll have a different show next time. It won't be as relaxed or laid back like this, but it will be with many things to come at you, and hopefully you'll be ready, because I will be ready. And with that being said, much love, AB Investments.